What is up, world? What is up, world? What is up, world? You are in tune to the Cowboys Global Cast. And it's your main man, Mod here. Autumn should be or could be along here in just a moment. But man, we got a show. This is the thing that we wanted to talk about. We definitely wanted to talk about the new look defense with Christian Parker and the things that we got coming defensively and the things that we have to look forward to. Hey, look, we were the number 32 ranked defense in the NFL. I mean, there's only 32 teams, so it's not far. I mean, listen, you don't have to go to, number one to be better than 32, right? If we were at least the 16th ranked defense last year with the second ranked offense, this would have been a team that would have made a deep playoff run. So, I mean, hey, this is a part of football that's very important. Defense wins championships. The trenches in defense is very important. And we got to talk about it, man. We got a lot to talk about. And like you saw on the cover, I mean, we got some dogs there. We have, Kenny Clark, Quentin Williams, they're ready, to keep these guys clean, in the new look CP defense. But we're going to get into it here in just a moment. But make sure that you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube and Twitch so when we go live. You will definitely get those notifications. Getting this party started, making sure that you are a part of the Cowboys Global podcast here. We are DT4L. We are Dallas Cowboys for life. Making sure you're a part of that team. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you do that for me, man. And we're going to get this party started right. We're going to get this party started quickly. And I'll be right back right after this. And we are back, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you. So a lot to talk about. And last week we ranked the offensive players from 1 to 10, and we, said, okay, this is what we think, and this is what we think about each room. Definitely gonna go through the defense like that, and we're gonna talk about the room. But first, before I get to that, let's just show you who's new on the defense and what's different about this year's defense from last year's defense. And if you look at it, and we start, just looking at 2025 defense, the starter at defensive end was Sam Williams on one side. Osa was a starter at D tackle. Kenny Clark was a starter at D tackle. Then you had at the other defensive end Dante Fowler. You had Kenneth Murray at one linebacker and Jack Sanborn at a middle linebacker and at the other side linebacker, and Damone Clark as your middle linebacker. You had Deron Bland and Khalil Elam as your cornerbacks, and then you had Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker. Listen, man, I don't know. Many people will agree with me, man. I mean, Donovan was Dono was he was a liability last year. I mean, he was slow. The only person he could probably cover out there is me. I mean, and that's being easy on him. Same thing with Jack Sanborn. Jack Sanborn was slow of foot. Um, Kenneth Murray couldn't tackle himself or his shadow. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. And then Dante Fowler was decent. He wasn't bad. And Kenny Clark came later on in the year. Osa was, undersized, but Osa, and he's still a guy. Sam Williams, he's another one. I think for 4-3 defensive end, he just wasn't built for that, right? But if you look at it now, you got Rashawn Gary playing at edge, Quentin Williams playing the defensive line, Kenny Clark playing the nose, and then you have another edge over there as Donovan Edaraku, and behind him you got Lawrence, our draft pick that we got in this year's draft. Then you have DeMarvion Overshown, fully healthy, starting the year off healthy this year. You have D Winters at the other linebacker. And then you have Deron Bland, of course, playing corner. He's fully healthy coming into the season. Siobhan Revelle and Kobe Durant on the other corner. And then you have a talent like Caleb Downs, who I believe is going to reset the NFL at the safety position and defensive back position. He's the guy who could play the star or that diamond position and really play it well. Jalen Thompson and Malik Hooker, of course. And then we got PJ Locke for depth. So we have depth at these positions, which is really important. And that's really important, man. I mean, when you start to look at a team is only, I've told you this before. That's why I watch the preseason games. I don't watch the preseason games for any other reason except for the fact that I want to see what the twos look like. Your ones can be awesome, but your twos are gonna win the game for you. Because when the ones need a break and they need to be spelled, quarterbacks see that. Quarterbacks see who's definitely in the game and who's not. And really quick, like they make real quick decisions and take advantage of if they see that, hey, we got us one over there on that left corner, I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm gonna hit him real fast. And definitely that's a big play waiting to happen. In the NFL, you have big plays, those explosive plays, that tell the tale of the game, right? If you can have, 4 to 5 explosive plays a game, you're going to be a team that wins a lot of those games, right? Because you have those explosive plays and people are ready to go. I'm going to tell you something. Here's another thing. When we start to look at this and we're looking through this lens, it's when we talk about depth, it's something that the Cowboys haven't had much of, right? And then with the new leadership, that's the thing that makes me happy. We got new leaders in place. We got new voices in the room, and we're going to talk about it. So, like I said, at one defensive end, you have Quentin Williams, right? You have LT Overton that we picked up in the draft this year, and we have Odelehi Ediyahu. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. I apologize. So at that, if we're looking at that defensive end and the defensive end room as a whole, right? Those are our defensive ends that we'll be looking at. Everybody else is going to be nose tackles or linebackers because we're running, a 3-4 and with a nickel with heavy nickel concept, right? So if I had to rank that room, bro, I talk to Tom about this all the time. If I had to rank that room just on the strength of Quentin Williams, that room's a 7. That room's a 7, just on the strength of Quentin Williams. At nose tackle, we're looking at Otito Ogbenyana, right? He's our nose tackle. Then Jake Toya and Tommy Dunn, Kelvin Gilliam. We got Ogbenyana from the Chargers, right? And I would say, he's a 6.5. And I'm gonna base the room on his strength. At 6.5, I think he'll be adequate as far as keeping linemen from getting to the second level and keeping them off of our linebackers and keeping the linebackers clean. The other defensive tackle you have there is Kenny Clark. On defensive tackle, Jonathan Bullard and DJ Withers, who is a free, unsigned free agent. Can't even talk tonight. So if you look at that room on the strength of Kenny Clark, that room's a 7 too, right? So we have a 7, 6.5, 7 is where we're starting out. Not bad. I think we're better. We're already better than we were last year, right? So you look at one side, defensive end / linebacker. You got Rashawn Gary. You have Malachi Lawrence. You have Maris Lafau. You have Isaiah Land. Mm-hmm. I like this room. Ooh, I like this room. I think this room could have the potential to be dogs, right? I give this room a 7.5. This is a really decent room. If you look at Rashawn Gary is a dog. Rashawn Gary is an animal, right? He's a walking 10 shack machine. You could say, oh well, I don't know. Man, look, Rashawn Gary is a walking 10 sack machine. Pencil the boy in for 10. You know what I'm saying? And he's back with his guy, Kenny Clark, his teammate. He's back over here. And he had. They said, oh, well, he fell out towards the end of the year. Yeah, because he had Kenny Clark right there next to him, right? So now he's got Kenny Clark back. What you think he's gonna do? I give him 10 sacks. You know what I'm saying? Just go and pencil him in. So therefore, to me, that room is a 7, right? Um, so we're looking at the inside linebacker, DeMarvion Overshown, Shamar James, Curtis Robinson, and Langston Patterson. You know how I'm doing it. I'm doing it off the strength of the first player there, right? Strength off the first player is DeMarvion Overshown. Overshown is fully healthy. He's coming into the season fully healthy. He's a problem. When Overshown is healthy, he is a problem. You hear me? So let's not just sit here and twiddle our thumbs and act like DeMarvion Overshown is not a problem. So if we're looking at that room as a whole, Overshown, Shamar James, Robinson, Patterson, Langston, as a whole, I give DeMarvion Overshown a 7 when healthy. So I'll give that room a 6.5. Just that inside linebacker room, I'll give a 6.5. That's the left inside. The right inside, which would be considered your middle, is D. Winters. We picked up from the San Francisco 49ers. Jay Sean Barham, which was an end / linebacker. He was a poor man's Arvell Reese. In Michigan. I think the guys had a bright future. I'm excited about seeing him play this year. And then Justin Barron. This room, strength of D. Winters. D. Winters is a 7. I'm going to give, and Jay Sean Barham, he's unknown, but I'm still going to give this room a 7. It's going to hold fast at a 7. So we have the right inside linebacker room, a 7. Left inside linebacker room, a 6.5. The left outside linebacker with Rashawn Gary, Malachi Lawrence, Maris LaFau, Isaiah Land. Love that room, brother. Love that room. That's a 7. Kenny Clark at the defensive tackle, Jonathan Bullard, DJ Willard. I give that room a 7. Otto Ogbanyana, the nose tackle that we picked up from the Chargers, and Jay Toya, Tommy Dunn, and Kevin Gilliam, I get that room a 6.5. Then Quentin Williams, LT Overton, Odelay, Adenayo Odelay. I can't say their name for nothing. That room, I give a 7 just off the strength of Quentin Williams, just for those of you who just joined. At our right outside linebacker, we have Donovan Etheroku, who played. Donovan played well at defensive end last year. Donovan played well. He played very solid. Then you have James Houston, who had some sacks last year. Sam Williams and Tyrus Sweet. So let me tell you something. Sam Williams played outside linebacker. He played this position at Ole Miss, right? He played this position at Ole Miss. And I'm excited to see him go back to more of a natural position for him. Sam Williams and Donovan Etheroku are going to have very solid years. You heard it here first. You need to go on and mark that both of them are going to be making plays this year. Both of them. Both of them will make plays. That room is a solid 7.5 to me. 7.5. Even better than DeMarvion Overshown, Shamar James. Rashawn Gary, Malachi Lawrence, Maris LaFau, and Isaiah Land. That's a room for your behind, but this other one is a room for your behind as well. You know what I'm saying? Donovan Etheroku, James Houston, Sam Williams, and Tyrus Sweet. Them some guys, bro. Them some guys for real, man. Those some guys. I like that room. Solid 7.5. At your left cornerback position, you have starter Deron Bland, Devin Moore, who we got, rookie from Florida. I like Devin Moore's size, 6'4". Runs like a 4.5. He's he's a guy who I think is going to benefit from having Christian Parker in his life. Here's a guy that I believe Christian Parker is going to make a lot better, right? Kalen Carson, Josh Butler. I like Josh. Josh makes music. He got dogs. Has the big TikTok presence. I like Josh. For real. I like Josh. I do. I think Josh is this is his chance to be better than Kalen Carson and steal reps. That's what I think. This is his chance to really be better than Kalen Carson and steal reps and to get better under CP. I think, this room, Deron Bland is a strong 7, but I got to get his room a 6.5. I don't know what Devin Moore is. Kalen Carson ain't really showed me nothing. He's had flashes, but he got beat. You know what I'm saying? He got beat more than Joe Jackson kids. And Joe Jackson kids got beat. And this man got beat more than Joe Jackson kids. If you're unfamiliar who Joe Jackson is, that's Michael's daddy. Michael's daddy was beaten from 69 to 81. So, I mean, for real. Hey, literally, Kalen Carson got beat that bad. He got beat like a drum. So I give that room, the left cornerback room, I give that room a 6.5. Strong safety. You got Jalen Thompson, who we picked up from Arizona. Marquise Bell, who we had with us. He played safety last year for us, and that's strong. And Julius Wood. Jalen Thompson, I like. 6.5, strong. Still, Marquise Bell he played linebacker for DQ. We played an undersized linebacker. Can he go? I don't know, man. Listen, man. The room I give a 6. This room I give a 6. Legitimately, they're no higher than a 6. I can't give them anything higher than that because, again, like I said, at strong safety, Marquise Bell, Julius Wood, Jalen Thompson. Jalen Thompson's at 6.5. I do like him. I think he's sticky. I think he can get down in the box. He can play very tough against the run, and he can guard. That's important, right? They're at the free safety room, right? At our free safety room, we have Malik Hooker. We have PJ Locke, who we picked up from Denver, and we have Elijah Clark, right? This room's a little better. I like Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker can guard, right? At least Malik Hooker can guard. He was out of place a lot, but there's somebody I'm going to talk about here later who I believe is going to stop all that. He was out of place a lot, but when he was in place and in the right space, in the right place, doing what he was supposed to, he was good. He was really good. He was dependable. So I give Malik Hooker a solid 6.5. PJ Locke, I've known ever since he went to school at the University of Texas. Hook him. My Longhorns, hook him. He played over there at Denver for a little while. We know what Denver's defense was. And guess who else he played for? CP. He played for CP and had one of his best years under Christian Parker. So, I mean, if there's anybody who knows that Christian Parker defense, it will be PJ Locke. And if Malik Hooker ain't on his P's and Q's, bye-bye. Like Tate says, bye-bye. See you later, man. It's out of here. And, like my brother say, adios, muchachos. Get up out of here, man. Definitely. I can see that in Malik Hooker's future. If he doesn't suit up, show out. You know what I'm saying? He has to definitely, do what needs to be done, or his minutes and his tick will be cut significantly. At right cornerback, you've got Kobe Durant, who came in from the Rams, and he was pretty good in coverage. He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad at all. You know what I'm saying? It's a solid 6.5 himself. Siobhan Revelle, who's healthy, all the way healthy, he's ready. Siobhan Revelle is ready, and I believe in him. Again, he's a year removed 2 years removed from his injury. And, it normally takes somebody 2 years to come back. The only thing that I'm hoping here, And if you know anything about football, the thing that I'm hoping is that he's able to run. Dak Prescott talked about that in a press conference this week, and he was talking about he's able to get out and run, and that was the most important thing. He needed to run, but it avoided all them hamstring issues. Hamstring, those soft tissue issues, always are caused by people not running, man. If you're an athlete and you know anything about athletes, if you're not running during the off season and you start trying to run full speed for long periods of time, you're gonna pop a hammy. It is what it is. You're gonna blow a tie. You know what I'm saying? Your tie's got to keep moving. Yeah, it just is what it is. And with when we talk about this with Siobhan Reveal, I hope that he has been running. I hope that he has been taking care of his body in this offseason because I think it'd be a big season for him. I mean, 6'4", 4'3" guy. He can go, man. He can just all out play, man. The boy can all out play. Let me see. Is he 6'4" or 6'3"? Let me see something. Check it out. He's 6'2", excuse me. 6'2", but 4'3" guy. 4'3" guy, man. I love it. I love it, man. 4'3" guy. He could all out fly. Period, point blank. Then you have Tricky Bridges, and you have Darion Kendrick in that room. So Kobe Durant, Siobhan Reveal, Bridges, and Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? 6'5". No. I'm tripping. And I'll take that back. 6. They don't even get the 5. 6. Y'all this is a room that's gonna have to prove it to me. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it at all. At NB, which is your slot piece in your defense, you got Caleb Downs, our first round pick. And I'm telling you, here's a guy who knows after rookie camp, they're already in involuntary, they're involuntary workouts or voluntary workouts, excuse me. And you know what people are saying about Caleb Downs is unbelievable. They're saying, he knows the playbook already. He's super smart. He knows how to get us to line up, and this is a rookie, right? When he got selected, Malik Neighbors was like, man, I don't want to play against this guy twice a year. I don't want no parts of him because Malik Neighbors told a story about Caleb Downs. At Caleb Downs' freshman year, Caleb Downs was calling out his routes, telling him where he was fishing to run. And if that ain't scary, as a wide receiver, if somebody already got all your moves down, it just is what it is. And this is who Caleb Downs is. He's a guy who sits down with the remote and watches film. He cares about the craft. He cares about the craft, you guys. And it's like I was so happy when we got Michael Parsons, man. I mean, I remember that feeling. Man, I feel above that now with Caleb Downs. Like, we got the best player in the draft, you guys. We literally got the best player in the draft in Caleb Downs, man. It's oh my gosh. It's like, I don't know, man. It makes me so happy. Now it's like that portion of my defense I don't worry about anymore. Because if we get beat, we just got beat because they were better. We're not getting beat anymore like we did against Green Bay 2 years ago in the playoffs. And people were just wide open because people didn't know the coverage. They didn't know what they were doing. And don't even get me started on Matt Eberflus. Should have been gone. You know what I'm saying? That's an experiment that should have never happened. Should have never happened. Outdated, prehistoric, recycled coaches they need to be gone. Like my brother said, we need to reset the NFL. And I think this year and next year, that's what you're going to see happening with coaches like CP, Christian Parker, coaches like the coach over at the Houston Texans, with young coaches who are here. The coach at Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Young coaches who are resetting the game because their mind is young and they're rethinking football, right? And that's what we need. That's what we need. But Caleb Downs, he hadn't played a down in the NFL, hadn't played one down. But if I'm listening to what everybody else is saying, I'm looking at the tape and the film from Ohio State, from Alabama, that's an 8. That's an 8 if I ever seen one. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be an 8 out on the field. I don't care if he was playing football in with the Super Friends and the Avengers. He's still gonna be an 8. This boy here can play some football, man. And he's smart. That's the thing, man. When you find a cerebral player like that, who's very smart, who you're not gonna outthink, who's able to diagnose what the offense is trying to do and get his teammates lined up efficiently, that's what I'm talking about. So Caleb Downs is the 8 himself. Reddy Stewart, clip that, by the way. Reddy Stewart, he's a guy who last year flashed. He's a guy that flashed last year. I wouldn't give him anything higher than a 5, but okay. And Zion Childress and Corey Ballentine, 3s, 4s. Caleb by himself has that room at a solid 7. That's Caleb by himself, right? And then, of course, you got Brandon Aubrey, our kicker, and Brian Anger, our punter. Brian Anger is one of the better punters in the NFL, and he can help us, put us in position, kill some drives inside of the 20, make people start, on the 10, just by changing field position. And then Brandon Aubrey, of course, he's the guy that, helps us on the offensive side of the ball. If we can't, get to moving, he can kick. And boy can get a 60-yarder, may even get a 70-yard. But when we start thinking about it, this defense is a long way away. Again, like I said, a long way away from where they used to be. If you look at the 2025 starters, and now you look at what we have starting in 2026, man, I'm excited. Listen, we don't even have to be, like I said, we don't have to be number 2. We don't have to be number 10. If we're just number 16 or 17 with the second-rate offense, we are cooking with fish grease, you guys. We're cooking with fish grease. And I'm talking about the good stuff. I ain't talking about, you know what I'm saying, the stuff that you just bought out the store that your mama, I'm talking about the stuff that your grandmama had on the stove in the Crisco can that you had to pop the little plastic tub. Yeah, I'm talking about that. We cooking with grease. We cooking with the good grease. And look, if you think about this, here's another move that's sneaky, that's going to help this Cowboy team. Here's another move that's very sneaky, that's going to help this Cowboys team. And you heard it here first. I'm giving you a secret, right? That move is we picked up BT Jordan as a pass rush specialist consultant. We employed him. That's our employ, right? Why is that so important? Nick Bonito, last year, he was in Denver, by the way. Nick Bonito had his best year, was a killer last year for Denver. Why? BT Jordan. Know who else BT Jordan has coached? They call him the guru for a reason. Myles Garrett. Know who else BT Jordan has coached? You guessed it. TJ Watt. All of the big guys, Michael Parsons, all of the guys who from the pass rush side, who is dominant, they trained under BT Jordan. And the thing that I left off Max Crosby. Max Crosby's another guy who trained under BT Jordan. Von Miller is another guy who trained under BT Jordan, right? Before coming to Dallas, he was with Denver. Before that, he was with Seattle. And Seattle, Seattle has been great defensive line for the last 2-3 years. Their defensive line has been really good. Want to know why? BT Jordan. This is where the game changes, fellas. Why do you think, oh man, he's going to make our defensive ends that much better, that much better rushing the pass, our defensive tackles that much better? Yeah, that's part of it. But you want to know what he's done and what he does? He invites the offensive linemen in. Terrence Steele, Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Tyler Booker. He invites them in the room. Let me show you what these guys are going to try to do to you. He's already did it. They've said it. You know what I'm saying? He invites us in the room and said, hey, this is how he's setting up against you. When he's setting up like this is what he's fixing to try to do to you, right? And that goes a long way when you have your offensive lineman learning who, this is a guy, BT Jordan, who was an offensive lineman himself. Before he became a guru, he was an offensive lineman, right? So you have a guy who's that familiar with what defensive linemen and defensive tackles are trying to do to the offensive lineman. That's invaluable. Now you make your offensive line that much better on top of making your defensive pass rush that much better, right? Now, if you can get pressure on, if you can have one of our guys have a Nick Bonito year, wow. Just think about if Rashawn Gary and Quentin Williams have 10 sacks apiece. Woo! Think about it, bro. If Rashawn Gary and Quentin Williams have 10 sacks apiece, oh my God. You get 4 or 5 from Overshown and a couple from the rookies, Lawrence and Caleb Downs. This is the defense that is going to start making waves. And you can't say, oh, the Cowboys are winning just because of their offense. And that's what you say. Everybody's thinking, oh, man, the Cowboys defense is trash. So, listen, the coaches are different. The coaches are very different, right? And we're sitting here and we're setting the stage for this all to be different, right? And BT Jordan helps us with our offensive line, with our defensive line. He's going to help us be better in the trenches because where are championships won? In the trenches. Yeah, I heard y'all respond. Thank you. Yeah, championships are won in the trenches. And I'm going to tell you something. If we get trench play out of these guys, and like I told you guys last week when we talked about the offense, Shelton was brought in to push Steele. And I would not be surprised if Steele got up out of here. I would not be surprised. And post June 1, there might be some cuts. We might go after a guy like Bobby Wagner. We may go after a guy like Bobby Wagner and put him in our linebacker room and let him say, hey, man, play out the last of your career. I mean, last year he didn't have a bad year. Let Bobby Wagner or we get a guy like Thompson from or Thompson or Thomas from Miami. Or even the guy from Bobby, I forget his name. Tim Lyons said it today. A guy like that who's a free agent from the Giants. You put him right next there to D Winters and let these other guys play like their hair's on fire. Man, listen, this ain't the same old Matt Eberflus defense. That's just trash. And when I tell you that, and I said it earlier on the earlier show that I did a couple weeks ago, this is our year for real. I'm not playing. This is Dak's 11th year. Dakota Rain Prescott is playing the game, playing a position of quarterback. And barring injury, this team as a collective right now is at 85 or 8. 1 through 10, this team's at 8. And if somebody catches fire, like a George Pickens or a CeeDee Lamb, or we get a running back too, they're talking about bringing in Nick Chubb. I don't want no parts of that. I don't want no parts of that. You know who I would take? Alvin Kamara, who's going to be a post-June 1 cut. I take Alvin Kamara. We need a home run hitter. I would take an Alvin Kamara any day. I would take him any day. I really want Jadon Blue to man up and really become the guy who we know he could be. You know what I mean? The guy who we saw running behind Jonathan Brooks and Bajan Robinson and Contravion Wisner, that guy, the guy who could, was, hey, once he got on the outside, holler back, throw the deuce up, he gone. I want to see that guy, man. I want to see that guy on stretch runs. He's a home run hitter, man. He's a 4-3, he's a 4-3 guy, 4.39 in the 40. 6'1" guy, man. Look, man, get a boy to rock and let him cut up, man. I want to see these things happen. Like, I need to see this from Jadon Blue. But, man, if we going to pick up a running back post-June 1, I'll take Alvin Kamara. Leave that woman alone in New Orleans, whoever was trying to hold you there. Come on down here to Dallas, man, and let's go. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Because if we get any help whatsoever, first of all, Dakota Rain Prescott is he is in the elite status when you talk about play action. Because guess what? He can actually move. He can move. So if you're on top of the play action, he can turn, get out of there, move, scramble with his legs, and then hit somebody on the run. And by all intents and purposes, Jake Fergie had a off year, a tilt year, right? He had, I think, 8 touchdowns. Yeah, but I mean, the yardage was small, right? And if you can get anything out of Michael Trigg, Brevin Spanford, Schoonemaker's playing for a contract, so maybe he comes to play. Who knows? Schoonemaker is a great blocker, but he's an inline blocker, but he's nothing in the passing game. We need a guy who can get in the scene, make some plays, great hands. That's Michael Trigg. That's Michael Trigg all the way. Michael Trigg and Fergie, this thing start getting spooky, man. It starts getting spooky hours. And you can say, oh, we don't know Michael Trigg. Michael Trigg slipped in the draft because of what people thought about him discipline-wise and didn't get drafted because of that. You watch Michael Trigg highlights and you like, oh my, him and Baylor was a dog. He was catching everything. I mean, he was catching everything. He's the type of dude that would be bundled up with 4 coats and 5 hoodies and 2 toboggans on his head and would still catch a cold in 70-degree heat. He can catch anything. Them hands is huge. He has mitts. He has bare hands. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when you look at this and you look at all of the pieces are in play, we need running back 2. We need a running back 2. But then when we look at it from a defensive standpoint, I like our great X factor is Christian Parker. I talked about BT Jordan for a while, but you got to understand what everybody's saying. DeMarvion Overshown said this of Christian Parker. He comes to work every day. Every day, doesn't miss a day. And he quizzes you when you walk in the room. He's asking you questions. So what this tells me is that he has an expectation. He's expecting things out of you. And if you're not producing those things, he don't care. You're going to sit on the bench. That is what it is. Go set the bench. Think about it. Need you to think about what's going on here. So you guys need to understand this ain't the same old Cowboys. Nuh-uh. Don't say that. Don't say that. This is a different Cowboy group. This is a different Cowboy group. And I know you guys were waiting. The schedule release just came out. And, I want to go ahead and go over the schedule. I'll give you my game for game analysis and what I think this season is going to look like, okay? All right. Our first game, we have the New York Giants in New York. That's a dub. New look Giants. Jackson Dark's back. He's healthy. Malik Neighbors is back. Scatterboo probably won't be back though. He won't be there. Of course, you got Arvell Reese, got a new addition. And the biggest thing for them is, guess what? They got a Coach Harbaugh, right? But you know what? Again, what they don't have is a running back. What they don't have is a second wide receiver. Got a tight end now. Likely's over there, you know. So they got targets, you know, but a bona fide number two, they don't have, to me, right? Um, and again, this is the defense that I believe that's going to be smothering, and an offense that's going to score points. So to beat us, you're going to have to put up 24, 31 points a game. You If you're not doing that, sit down. And if the defense can stop you, yeah. So I got 1-0 versus the New York Football Giants. Bishop, I know, and I'm just gonna tell you, y'all are the only team I think we're gonna split against. We'll talk. We'll talk later. Washington Commanders come to AT&T Stadium. They finna go and take this L. They defense, they don't got enough on the outside to stop CD and George. Yeah, that ain't happening. And you know what? Flo is gonna have a breakout year too. I talked about that last year. Last week when I talked about Ryan Flournoy. So that's 2-0. The Ravens, we play in Rio. Listen, man, I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. If you guys are listening, Steven, Jerry Jr., if you guys are listening, please, CP, yeah, get somebody, just hire somebody to stay with them the whole week, the whole time that they're there in Rio, in Brazil. Please, man. We saw what happened in Vegas, and we don't want Shadi. Come on, man. Have somebody please sit on these two guys. But anyway, everybody's making noise about Baltimore win this game. Won't happen. Cowboys will win this game. 3-0 Cowboys at this moment. We play the Texans. We go to H-Town. To play the Texans. I think this will be our first loss. 3-1 against definitely a revamped H-Town team. I like. I definitely like what I'm seeing with CJ Stroud, and I think CJ Stroud is back, right? We have the Cowboys welcoming in the Buccaneers that were 3-1 that fifth week. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that fifth week. We have the Buccaneers coming to AT&T Stadium. We're gonna kick their behind. That is 4-1. Then the Cowboys, we go to Lambeau to play the Packers. We played them in AT&T Stadium. I was there at that game last year. It was a 40-40 tie. So I definitely see that, and I can see that happening. No, I can't see that happening this year. Excuse me. I see we're going to have a better offense than their defense, so I expect us to win that game. What is that? 5-1. Yeah, that's our sixth game. Yeah, so we're 5-1 at this point. Cowboys go to Philadelphia after that next week. We split with Philly, and we may sweep them, but I'll say we split with Philly. So at this moment, we're 5-2. I think we lose that game. We go back home to play the Cardinals. We're 6-2. I think we beat them. We go to Indianapolis to play the Colts. We're 7-2. I think we beat them. We host the 49ers at AT&T Stadium. I'm just going to tell you, different Cowboys. We're 8-2 at that moment, 10 games in. We play the Titans. That's a free space. 9-2. It just is what it is. I don't really have to commentate. Y'all, it's a free space. Everybody gets a win. 9-2. The Eagles come to AT&T Stadium after that on Thanksgiving. So that's 10. We're going to win that game. That's our 10th win. 10-2. We're 12 games in. Then we go to Seattle. We lose that game. So we go to Seattle. That's then we go to play the Rams, and this is after our bye because we have our first bye here, right? Then we go to play the Rams. I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna win that game. We're gonna win that game. So right here, I see the Cowboys win that game. That's 11-3. We played the Jaguars at AT&T. That's 12-3. Play the Giants again at AT&T. That is 13-3. Um, and then I don't think we're gonna sit out. We'll probably sit our guys. So it'd be 13-4. So here we go. 13-4. That's my ceiling. 12-5 is my floor. This Cowboys team will not only make the playoffs, but will thrive. I think we'll go deep in the playoffs this year, right? I think we'll go very deep in the playoffs this year, and I'm excited to see how things are going to turn out. The defense is definitely a resurgent defense, and I'm excited to see what we're going to do, man. It's a resurgent defense. I'm excited to see what it's going to look like, and I think that it's going to be better than a lot of people think. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if we were top 10. I wouldn't be surprised if we were 16, 17. But whatever the case, that offense is still going to be top 5. It's still going to be top 5. And if we get running back 2, man, we might be like top 2. Top 2. We get a running back who can step up and hit home runs. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's on. It's on and popping. Definitely. But I thank you guys for watching, man. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let people know that I'm here. Cowboys Global Cast. We are DC4L. We are Dallas Cowboys for life. Man, I'm in association with the Know It All podcast. And make sure that if you're not a member of the Know It All channel, go over there, man. You're going to get some good football talk. We talk football. It's the best Steelers podcast in the freaking world. I'm telling you, we talk Pittsburgh Steelers, we talk Dallas Cowboys, we get it in, man. I'm for real. And I'm excited about that, man. I'm excited to share that with you. But yeah, make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure you be a part of We Are DC4L and Cowboys Global Cast. As for myself, as for Autumn, as for Tom, who's not here, and like I said, during the year, I'm going to be bringing in some young talent. There's going to be some young talent, some young podcasters that love the Cowboys, who I'm excited to get an opportunity to share with. And we'll talk to you guys later. I thank you for being a part of the show. I'm out.